Hello everybody, welcome to the second video. This is looking at the practice test questions and looking at the first part of identification and definition. So here we go again. The first question is about Bradshaw, and we see that it's about a physician, so it's a specialist, a doctor, somebody with special knowledge. But what's really important here is they say the maternal mortality rates fail to meet ministry standards. There is some sort of norm. So, surprise, surprise, the correct answer is D, a normative need. Let's move on. What are the purposes of a Venn diagram? Okay, and again, remembering our exam technique, we can see that we've got analyzing relationships between stakeholders, establishing roles and responsibilities, mapping the influence, and identifying the stakeholders. Well, clearly, a Venn diagram is not about roles and responsibilities, so the correct answer is B, because that doesn't include it. Moving on. What step in identification and definition includes deciding what will and will not be included? Well, here we're looking forward. We're saying, well, we could do this or we might not do this. So we're not talking about the present moment, we're talking about the future. So the correct answer is future state analysis, option C. Which statement related to the data collection processes is correct? So let's go through these. Secondary data tend to be specifically targeted to the precise needs, but that's false, it's not. The data is already there, so it's by its nature, it is more generic. Primary data collection tend to consume more time and money. Well, that's true, they do, so it's the correct answer. C, wherever possible, primary data should be collected first. No, it shouldn't. Secondary data should be done first because it's maybe more accessible and cheaper. And then primary data might cover the gaps. So it's the other way around. And finally, quantitative is always preferable over other methods. No, it isn't. So again, that's false. Correct answer is B. Select the missing words. The something builds upon the results of a Venn diagram. So here we've got 4 tools. One of these is completely made up, doesn't exist. So if you see something that is not in the guide, it's not an answer. Top tip there for the test from me. So which tool comes after the Venn diagram? The stakeholder analysis. And it's a great example. Venn diagrams are really good at the conversation and provoking the conversation, but they're not very good at documenting. And stakeholder analysis matrix is the opposite. It's not great, to be honest, at provoking a conversation and power analysis and looking at the relationships, but it is really good at documenting it. Let's keep going. What tool is used to collect primary quantitative data? And again, a literature review is secondary, so we know that's false. Semi-structured, well, that's about qualitative data. It's about the conversation. This is a grouping of techniques, most of which will be primary qualitative. So the correct answer is standardized surveys. What analysis tool is intended to investigate cause and effect relationships? Well, it's the problem tree. That's what it's entirely about. What is the cause? Why? And it shows you causes and it shows you the effects. What is the first step to take when completing a problem tree? Identifying the start of problem. Well, that's the correct answer. Although, to be fair, that's sometimes quite difficult. And sometimes what you need to do is just brainstorm everything that comes to mind, put it on the wall with the project manager's best friend, if I can find them. Yes, these sticky notes. And then start to move things around, and sometimes the starter problem emerges from that conversation. But ideally, the first thing to do is identify the starter problem. Which of the following is in the format of an objective tree statement? So objective trees are like positive reflections of a problem tree. Well, problem trees are usually negative statements. So we look at this. This is a problem. They lack waste disposal. Contaminants are high. It's also negative. High incidence of waterborne, negative. Income of families is stabilized and increased. So this is a positive reflection. It's a positive statement of something that it's something you might find in an objectives tree. So if you see a question like this in the test, If it's a negative, it's probably from a problem tree. If it's positive, it's probably from an objectives tree. What are the benefits of participatory approaches in project identification and definition? Well, as we've been discussing in the course, doing this well takes time. So it's not going to be an accelerated project definition process. It won't be quicker. Doing this properly may take longer. So we can see that this answer does not include 2, so it's the right one. And here, while conducting an analysis exercise, the team realizes the engineering components are not feasible. Okay, so we're looking at feasibility criteria, scope criteria for choosing what we do, what we don't do. It's about engineering, so it's a technical one. Be careful with the overlap on competencies. Here we're talking about something different. I hope that was helpful. Bye for now.